Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2021 Ford F-53 Motorhome, we're going to be checking out the Roadmaster Nighthawk Tow Bar. Before we jump right in, I figured it'd be useful just to kind of refresh ourselves on the main parts we're going to need to flat tow our Buick down the road in the first place. First part will be the base plate. And that's going to provide us with a solid and reliable connection point. That way we can hook our tow bar up to it. Tow bar will be the second component. This is going to be the actual physical link that connects the front of our Buick to the back of our motorhome. Third main part will be safety cables, and these are just there in the event of an unlikely disconnect. They're going to keep everything paired together. The fourth main part will be tow bar wiring, and what this is going to do is transfer the lighting functions from the back of your coach to the back of your Buick, keeping you safe and legal. And last but not least, the fifth main part will be a supplemental braking system. And what this is going to do is apply the brakes in your Buick whenever you hit the brakes in your coach, helping to bring you to a more complete and predictable stop. Something else that I do recommend picking up is the Roadmaster automatic battery disconnect switch. And I say that because the Buick does require the battery to be disconnected whenever you're flat towing. So as opposed to having to pop the hood every time, disconnect the battery manually, and go through all that trouble, with this setup, all you're going to have to do is push a button that'll disconnect the power for you. You can flat tow. Whenever you're ready to unhook, you simply push that button, everything will get powered up, and you'll be ready to go. So it just saves a lot of time. And then there's something else. It's called a stoplight switch kit. I recommend that if you're going to be using either one of these supplemental braking systems, the Demco Stay and Play Duo, which we used here today, or the Roadmaster InvisiBrake. And I say that because with that stoplight switch, it's going to give you an accurate reading in terms of what the brake pedal is actually doing and if the braking system is operating as it should. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the tow bar. When it comes to picking one out, it's a really important decision because it's going to be responsible for a lot of the work. And so you're going to want one that not only pulls your vehicle good, but is also easy to use. And this one's definitely one of my favorites. There's a lot of really nice things about it. Probably one of the most important things is how it's going to pull. So this one's relatively long, and generally speaking, the more distance you have between your vehicle and your motorhome, the better. Just going to help track a little bit better and stay true behind it. And this is also going to have a good capacity, weight capacity. It's 8,000 pounds, which is up there, to be honest. And because of that, personally, I feel like it's going to help absorb, road shock a little bit better. So when you hit a pothole or something like that, being a little more stout, it should help keep your vehicle in place. How easy this is going to be to set up and disconnect is also a big deal, right? And this is going to be a non-binding type tow bar, which regardless if you get this one or not, a non-binding type is something I always recommend. And so what that means is whenever you're towing down the road and you get to where you're going, these arms will be locked into place usually. And sometimes they'll be in a bind. And so when you try to disconnect everything, it's going to be super tight and really difficult. So if that were to happen, all you have to do with this setup is pull up on the lever. It'll release that tension and make it much more manageable to get out the pin and clip, which being a direct connect style, when you are ready to do that, you simply just have a pin that you pull up here, pull that out, and that's really all there is to it. So it doesn't get much more simple. And something else worth noting is this tow bar is one of the lighter ones on the market. A lot of it is made from aluminum, super lightweight. It's not going to get chewed up from the weather either. And so it's a little bit easier on your back just to kind of get everything lined up and sorted. So this particular one is going to work with Roadmaster baseplate kits. If you happen to have a Blue Ox baseplate kit, this is actually available with the correct ends on it to allow you to pair them up as well. This is also going to come with a few extras, if you will, which I think is really cool because it makes kind of sorting and picking out, setting up your flat tow a little bit easier. So it's going to come included with safety cables, which you know are the right length and the right style, the right capacity, so you don't have to worry about getting them. And it's also going to come with a electrical umbilical cord, and the 6-way round style connector. So again, you know you're going to have the right style and everything else. So that brings me to my next point. If you are planning on using this tow bar and you're going to be running Roadmaster diodes, the diode wiring kit, you want to pick up the kit that is the bare bones, I like to call it. You get your wire, your diodes, some ins and outs. You want the one that's not going to come included with a connector or the cable, because your tow bar will already have it. Something pretty cool too you don't see on a lot of tow bars is this one on the side of it has some LEDs. So whenever you're hooked up and your tail lights are on, these are going to illuminate. Is it a huge deal? No, but you know, with the amount of distracted drivers on the roads today, anything to make you a little bit more visible is definitely worth it, at least in my opinion. As we all know, you know, storage when you're over the road is really important because you don't have a whole lot of it. So anything you can do to maximize it is worth it, in my opinion. And the tow bar, you're actually able to store it either temporarily or permanently on the back of your motorhome. So once you have it undone, this just folds up, kind of clicks into place, and you can drop it down to either side. So pretty convenient there. If you do plan on storing it back here, especially more permanently, I suggest picking up a locking hitch pin. That way it'll be secured to your motorhome, as well as a tow bar cover like this one here. That way it'll slide over it and just help keep it in better shape, you know, keep all the elements off of it. Compared to some of the other tow bars out there, I'll be honest with you, this one's kind of in a league of its own. But if you're looking for something that's a little more economical, maybe you're kind of just getting started or something like that, a good middle of the road all around tow bar that I like is the Roadmaster Falcon All-Terrain. Relatively lightweight. It has a lot of the key features, or the ones I find necessary at least, so that's always worth checking out. But other than that, at the end of the day, if you're looking for a tow bar that is going to come with all the extras, be extremely easy to use, one that looks cool, this is one you definitely can't go wrong with. And that'll finish up our look at of the Roadmaster Nighthawk tow bar on our 2021 Ford F-53 Motorhome.